giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. All right, this is Brother Tyler Pye here with another lesson. And this lesson, I want to bring to you the latest in the Motb news. All right, and the Motb is an acronym for what's prophesied in the scriptures in the book of Revelation, chapter 13, beginning about verse 15 through 18. All right, and we'll get that. But first, I have a short little clip I would like to share. Well, a snippet from a clip. The clip is what? Let's see. It's not a short clip, it's 40 minutes, but I'm gonna play about 5 minutes of this clip just to show that, this thing is not going away. For those of you, that would like to wish away this prophecy of the Motb, it's not going anywhere. It's going to come to pass, all right? Because this is one of the things that Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai prophesied, all right? And as Paul stated, prophecies, they shall fail, all right? And how does a prophecy fail? Meaning it ceases to be prophecy. How is that? When it comes to pass, all right? So all prophecies shall fail. They will come to pass. And then, therefore, they will cease to no longer be prophecy. All right? But this Motb is right here and is beating at the door. Okay? And the infrastructure is in place. The major countries around the world have a digital infrastructure set for their finances. All right? And their financial system. For their government finances. All right, so I'm gonna let you hear this, and we'll get to the scriptures.
As far as the currency devaluations, I've been complaining about that for a long time. And I believe that we will all eventually, and probably very much sooner than a lot of people understand or think, we will be all at a level playing field.
And so, instead of having cash, anytime you have money in your chip, they can take out whatever they want to take out whenever they want to.
There's a natural overlap between body hackers and the blockchain movement. And here at Body Hacks 2019, a 2-day conference in Austin, Texas, I'm planning on joining these couple hundred people who can officially call themselves cyborgs by getting something implanted too. So I've just watched a bunch of videos about getting implants, namely the magnets under the fingers, and they use a scalpel, and there's a lot of blood, so that was a little bit much. For me, though, it'll be much less gruesome. I'm just getting an NFC-enabled microchip implant. It's housed in glass, about the size of a grain of rice, and so it fits inside a hollow 14-gauge needle. The needle goes in, the implant gets pumped out, the needle comes back out. It hurts about as much as giving blood or getting a piercing, and it gets injected most often between the thumb and index finger. And it's secured by this blockchain. That's the implanter's joke. Some attendees had programmed their chips to open RFID safes and doors, unlock their phones, and send their contact information to other phones, and some had even hacked their way into creating an authorization for accessing their Bitcoin holdings. That last use case, that's what I'm looking for. So on the last day of the conference, I sat down and a minute later excitedly exclaimed, "I'm a cyborg."
Thank you for your cooperation.
The implant I got, the VivoKey Spark, currently allows users to send an NFC-enabled phone to their profile page or to whatever website they choose. For the test, and to shamelessly promote my content, I set the implant to send a phone to the Bitcoin at 10 website. It did in fact take me to Bitcoin at 10.
Can I try?
Yes. Now we'll try with another person's phone.
What? Wow.
Cool, huh? Next, I set it to take my phone to my Receive Bitcoin QR code, making it easy for people out and about to scan that code and tip me some crypto.
$2?
I guess. That's all you're willing to give me, cheapskate. And in a week or so, VivoKey will be launching a new API that will allow users to program the chip to act as an authenticator key. With this, I should be able to request that every time I want to send or transfer Bitcoin out of an open source wallet, it'll ask me to scan the chip to validate that transaction. And that way, the chip will act as a unique security measure that might make my hand as valuable as Clean Eyes in Minority Report. But seriously, don't take my hand. I don't have that much crypto.
You can't buy food. You can't do anything. It's total control of the people.
And that chip's connected to a database that has your purchasing records, what you do, what
Everything.
you sell.
Everything is in there, you know? And so they want a one world government controlled by them, everybody being chipped, all your money in those chips, and they control the chips and they control people. And you become a slave. You become a serf to these people.
I mean, we see the popularity among youth.
And so that's the end game. Aaron Russo nailed it. You become a slave, a serf to these elite overlords, which he was invited. That the last guy you saw, Aaron Russo, was invited to the inner circles and he declined. And as you just saw, began to speak out and do a series of, well, he had a few documentaries, all right, which caused him his life. All right, they put him to death for his beliefs. And because he didn't want to join them in their dystopian, nightmarish, uh, tyrannical future. Okay, I think that's pretty.
The younger generation of Bitcoin, Ethereum, all different types of cryptocurrencies. Literally, we're going to exist in a society in which money is digital. Cash no longer exists. It has fallen out of favor. All of these central banks, they are foaming at.
All right, so we'll get to the scriptures. They're talking about the crypto, and this is how the chip will work in tandem with digital currencies. Okay, that's why they've come out with the digital currencies, and they've beta tested it on the dark web through their human trafficking endeavors. All right, before it was really released to the public. I'm talking about these cryptos, all right, Bitcoin and such. They was used by these elites to do their illegal purchases on the dark web, and then it started becoming mainstream. But the intent the whole time, all right, was to make this the future of finance and financing. All right, this digital currency, which will be tracked and traced on these microchips, because to have a digital currency is not like you can stick it under your mattress or in your pocket or even in your wallet. You know, they did come out with the digital wallets, all right, but it has to be something computerized, right? It has to be able to be stored or recorded and stored on some type of device. And that device is the MOTB that we at Great Millstone been warning you about to stay away from. All right, when I say the MOTB, I'm talking about the MARK of the BEAST. All right, which we're getting ready to read about. But just understand, because you got people that's still out there wishing to deceive you on exactly what this mark is. All right, well, they just showed you in that video. They just showed you the little nasty little white chick. All right, and went and had them let them put that in her hand. You know, that's disgusting to me. You know, but the Lord will kill you. He's going to kill you if you take this beast mark. All right. So, in saying that, let's read about it. All right. This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak. All right. And it speaks by way of decrees, passing legislation, dictates, executive orders, if you will. All right. This is how, because this beast is a system. All right. A governmental structure. All right. Which That image, let's go back and read it. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. That's ancient Rome. That's the system of ancient Rome being recreated, all right, and brought back to our time, to the modern times, all right. We are in the revised Roman Empire, all right, because the wicked are in rule and they have power to give life. And, in other words, to bring ancient Rome back to its glory, all right. So this beast is speaking about the ancient Roman system of government, and it says that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. All right, and this beast, similar to the first beast, going back to ancient Rome, this revised Roman Empire is fitted with more bells and whistles. I'll put it this way: more technological bells and whistles, such as the AI, blockchain, as you heard them speak. Which the blockchain is what's going to power this MOTB, along with AI and its algorithms. You see, now the first beast didn't have that, but now they have the technology to do what they always wanted to do. And when I say they, I'm talking about the ruling elite, which are the Edomites. They always wanted to play God, all right, and have been playing God. But they're, they're about to meet the real God. And then I'm gonna tell you, it's not gonna be pretty. All right. Most High is not happy with what's going on in the world. Everything has been polluted, defiled, turned upside down. And the Lord is coming back. He's sending the Most High, the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, is sending his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, to get some shit straight. All right. And that's exactly what's going to happen. All right. So again, Revelation 13 and 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, right, because it has power, it can decree laws, all right, and cause the people to move in certain ways, to act in certain, in certain ways, all right. It says that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, right? And that's what's coming, you see? And let's go back and look at this, because this beast has a lot to play into that. When we look at Revelation chapter 13, verse 11, it says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. And he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. All right. Now, this other beast coming up out of the earth is America. All right. Biblically known as Babylon, the virgin daughter of Babylon. All right. Spiritually known as Sodom and Egypt. That's America. That other beast coming up out of the earth. And it says, and he had two horns like a lamb, right? Because it has a two-party power structure. All right. And horns represent power. Well, the power of this beast comes from its two horns. It says like a lamb. All right. And those two horns, that's the Republicans and the Democrats. All right. In this democratic form of government. All right. So in this democratic form of government, just like the first beast, as I mentioned earlier, ancient Rome had a two-party power system, which was between the patricians, which were, your upper class and your elite Romans, and then your plebeians, which would be your, your layman's, your everyday, um, average Joe six packs, if you will. So that was ancient Rome, the patricians and the plebeians. All right. Now, the corresponding parties to that today in America, with these two horns like a lamb, the patricians today would be equated with your Republicans, and the Democrats would be equated to the plebeians. All right, the people. All right, when you go into Democrat, it means the rule of the people. All right, demo is people. Crat, where you get crassy, means rule. All right, so Democrat or democracy, the etymon is the rule of the people or the people's rule, which is a farce. That's a lie. All right, the people never had rule of the government here in America, but this is the beast that is speaking of. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. All right. Now, speaking as a dragon goes into the draconian laws. All right, because remember, I've explained that when a country or a nation, kingdom, if you will, speaks, it speaks through the dictates of the ruler. All right, the laws, statutes, or whatever, which comes forth from the ruler or the government in this case. All right, so by it saying, and he spake as a dragon, that's going into these harsh draconian measures, as we read while ago in verse 15. It said that he would cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. All right, that's draconian. Do what I say, or I'll kill you. That's draconian. All right, and that's what it's coming down to. These ultimatums: do this or else. All right, now that's how you speak as a dragon. Do this, or there will be dire consequences for you, for your family, and whoever else you might, care about or love. You see, that's how this man rolls. And in verse 12 it says, and he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, which was Rome. All right. So America is in the spitting image of ancient Rome. He's exercising all the power. All right. America has a Senate and a House, and no one set ruler. As in the days of old, you would set up a king, or a king would be set up, and then the rulership would go to the king's progeny. Well, it wasn't so in ancient Rome, just as it isn't so in modern day America, because why? Verse 12. And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him. All right? And that's with the system of governmental control and all of that. Okay? It says, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed. Right, because Rome was taken down by who? The barbarians. Certain of the barbarians which were ultimately Hebrew Israelites. All right. Rome was taken down from within as well. So you had, because Rome was so vast and spread out that you had all of these uprisings between the barbarians, and then you had internal conflicts between generals going at it, going at one another, jockeying for position. All right, same thing we see today. All right, in America, we see the same thing because this is Rome revisited. All right, now it says, again, verse 12, Revelation chapter 13, verse 12, and he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them that which dwell therein to worship the first beast, ancient Rome, whose deadly wound was healed. And that wound was healed during the Renaissance. The Renaissance signifying the rebirth. Renaissance means rebirth, but it was signaling the rebirth of Rome. All right, you say rebirth of what? Rebirth of this beast whose deadly wound was healed. All right, the wound was inflicted by Israelites because the Israelites took over the Roman Empire, and it became the Holy Roman Empire throughout what the scholars dub the Dark Ages, all right, or the Byzantine Empire. That was the Holy Roman Empire, where the Israelites took rule over Rome. Well, that was the deadly wound, all right? But Rome didn't never fully die, all right? And it was resurrected when Esau, the Edomites, the so-called white people, okay, when they came back into power, all right? That was the rebirth of the first beast. That's when the deadly wound was healed. It says, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. All right. And you can see that in that first conquest or military campaign with NATO and the US, and that was in the early 90s, during the time or with the conflict in Kosovo, all right, when they had the televised bombing of yeah, I believe that was Kosovo. All right, but he doeth great wonders so that he make fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. That's by way of his missiles. All right, and the world got to see that firsthand because that campaign, that first campaign of NATO, was televised. Okay, it says, yeah, verse 14, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which that's a likeness. The image goes back to the Greek word icon, which means likeness. So they should make a likeness to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. You know, and that's exactly what they did. They made a likeness of ancient Rome. And then so this is why, as we read in verse 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. All right. Now that's speaking at them speaking as a dragon, because the philosophies and the doctrines that is governing this beast that had the wound by the sword and did live, most of it is marching orders and its doctrines come right out of America. All right, Babylon. You see, and so as we read pertaining to America, biblically known as Babylon, that it had two horns like a lamb, and he did speak as a dragon. Well, we see that right now. We just read about it when all of those who refuse this MOTB or refuse just this image. All right. But when we talk about the likeness of Rome, what are we talking about? We're talking about weirdism, weirdoism that was going on in Rome. Most of the Caesars were straight up psychopathic, sexual deviants. Majority of them. All right. And this is what we see is going on in America. Majority of Americans are turned out. All right. And they're living lives contrary to the scriptures, and there's a price to pay for that. All right. The Most High is going to visit this world for that. But getting to the point, verse 16, it says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand, or in their foreheads. You see, he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And so when we look at this word mark, and remember what they showed, the image of the syringe, and she was explaining it as they did it. They stick the syringe in, they pump the chip out, and it enters into the flesh of your right hand between your forefinger and your thumb, and then they pull a syringe out. That syringe is a form of a palisade. All right. So when we look at mark from Strong's G5480,
Strong's G 5480. Charagma. Charagma.
charagma, and it says a stamp and imprinted mark. All right. 1A of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist, you know, which this will be a mark. It's the beast's mark. So right, you're saying I follow the beast or the Antichrist. So that's true. 1B says the mark branded upon horses, right? Because you're just chattel or cattle. All right. So it's the same way. They're marking their property. When you take that chip, you're saying I belong to this man. All right, who is the wicked Esau Edom. Now definition 2 says thing carved, sculpture, graven work. 2A of idolatrous images. I'm gonna go to the root word of charagma, which is karax or charax. And it says what? In outline of biblical usage, definition 1, a pail or stake, a palisade. That's what you saw with that syringe. That syringe, the needle on the syringe is a palisade. The definition 2 says a palisade or rampart. 2A, pales between which earth and stones, or between which earth, stones, trees, and timbers are heaped and packed together. So the point here being is the palisade is the syringe that's going to insert this mark. You understand? This is what we're dealing with. And as the scripture says here in verse 17, and that no man might buy, that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So no man might buy or sell. Why? Because he's doing away with cash. All right? We live in a cashless society. You know, they haven't outlawed cash yet, but I mean, how many transactions do you use or do you make with cash? And it ain't many, you know? So when it said that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, because that mark is going to be your money. There's going to be other things, but it's going to be the way they keep track of your digital currency so that you can do whatever they going to allow you to do. It ain't like you're going to have any autonomy or any type of sovereignty to just go about life and do what you want. We just read that let's go back. How is it worded? Yeah. And cause that as many in verse 15, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So this is a system that's being put in place to where you're going to toe the line or you will be put to death. So it's no situation to where Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go online and go on what who is this? I forget these companies online to do some shopping. Yeah, it ain't gonna be too much. They're gonna give you exactly what you need to live without any frivolous spending, all right, or frivolous purchases. You'll have enough to buy your bugs. You know, they'll deduct your rent off the top for your, your 15-minute city home. And then, yeah, whatever else that, your bugs, they'll deduct it. They're just going to deduct. They're going to give you an allowance, and then they'll give you a ledger or a receipt showing the deductions. Well, oh, you ate too much meat. That's a deduction, an extra deduction, which puts you in the red. So now, I don't know what system they'll have in place for that. But, things like that you will be penalized for using too much, burning too much carbon, or emitting too much carbon, burning too much oxygen, emitting too much CO2. All right. You made love last night. That's going to cost you, 100 credits. You're already in the red. It's going to be a nightmare. All right. It's going to be a nightmare. One in which the leaders of these other Hebrew Israelite groups are not preparing the people for, you know, and so they're going to get caught totally off guard. But it says again, Revelation 13 and 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, all right, the micro CHIP, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name, all right. Because some instances you might, your um, your CHIP will have a number attached to it, of course. So you might just, be online and they might just ask you for your number. What's your CHIP number? And you just type it in. And other times you could actually scan your chip. All right. But it says in verse 18, here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 600 threescore and 6. Which in the Greek spells out chi xi stigma for 600 threescore and 6. That's chi xi stigma. All right. Stigma means to prick. That's what they're going to do with that palisade is stick you and then prick you with that CHIP. And you'll belong to Satan until the Lord burns your ass up. Because that's what he told you is going to happen. This is Revelation chapter 14, verse 9. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, go up to the top. Right. Revelation 14 and 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. All right. So it says, verse 11, and the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. All right, and this is what's coming to those who think it's okay to take a microchip. Whether Elon Musk brain chip, they just announced Monday that the first person received it, and lived. So I guess So that's a thing now, a chip in the brain. And then you just saw the little nasty white girl get a chip in her hand, you know? And that's just disgusting to me. But they're going to make this the norm here real soon. And that'll be the way. And unless you've been practicing and putting into effect your faith, you're going to take this mark. It is better to starve to death than to take this mark. And starving to death ain't a pleasant way to go. But it's better than taking this mark. Because even before the Lord smokes you, as we just read, you're going to suffer all type of health ailments. All right, you see this man's technology. It ain't worth a shit. Tesla's burning people up, and you're going to let this man put a CHIP in your body? He can't even get a phone right. Computers constantly getting hacked. You want to be hackable? That's what's going to happen. Niggas going to get hacked. Yeah, it's going to be a nightmare. This is going to be a nightmare. But I'm going to end it right there. And any new developments that come about, of course, I'll report on it. But for now, and that was 2019. So it's no telling what they have right now. It's 2024. This was 5 years ago where that video came out. All right. That's in Austin, Texas. It's funny how a lot of this dystopian technology is coming right out of Austin, Texas, man. Right here, you know, in this Lone Star state of Texas, the capital of this state, Austin. You know, out of UT Austin at that. But anyway, hey, to the next one, Shalom.